Hello everybody, Dark Phoenix Ninja 92 here, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim with Elia, Janassa, and Ace. Last time we left off, we had just finished up our excursion with the bandits at Swindler's Den, and found out that the things that Sadia had told us were not quite the whole story. And as it turns out,
we can never rest easy.
These bandits were actually members of the illogical, who were, for lack of a better description, kind of like Hammerfell's special forces. And they're basically kind of like Hammerfell's versions of the Navy SEALs or the Marines, to use a modern comparison. And they were in Skyrim hunting for Sadia because she sold out one of their cities to the Aldmeri Dominion. And because of her screwing them over, that city had to surrender to the Thalmor. And I have made Elia's opinion on the Thalmor clear on multiple occasions. But she is not happy about the Thalmor's continuing existence. Because they've done a lot of things to inadvertently and not so inadvertently screw her over in the past. Including the Thalmor actually burned Elia's home village to the ground when she was a little kid, just because the governor wouldn't let their soldiers sleep in the village. That kind of thing. Happens to be reasons why we vehemently dislike the Thalmor. Okay, why do I have my bloody lantern still equipped? And where the hell is Ace? He probably got distracted trying to urinate on something again. Yeah, he does this a lot. And that is a lot of wolves. Let us try to avoid getting stuck fighting them or something. I say try because I tend to have some very iffy luck when it comes to things like this. But in any case, after we found that out during the confrontation with Kimatu and the other Alakir, they offered sorry, I almost said Sadia there. They offered Elia a deal. Go back to Whiterun and help them capture Sadia so she can be brought back to Hammerfell to stand trial for her crimes, and she will get something out of it. A portion of their reward. Which this appeals to Elia on two levels. For one thing, we desperately need to keep making money so we can stock up on supplies for the eventual and probably very lengthy trip to the Greybeards at High Hrothgar. And for another, our hatred of the Thalmor makes it so that Elia is feeling like it's in her best interests to do everything she can to screw over the Thalmor, including making one of their informants a little bit more imprisoned than they previously were. Now, out of character, I personally have a feeling that there's a lot more of this than what the Alakir are telling you, even though you don't ever find that out in the game. Both sides are kind of a little iffy. They don't... neither of them are actually telling you the whole story. And so I've always been kind of suspicious of this quest. But oh dear, why am I doing that? But, well, I've been a little suspicious of this quest for a long time. Elia has no reason to feel that way. As far as she's concerned, the Alikir are in the right because they are hunting a Salmor traitor, and we should do everything we can to help them. And to that end, we are going to be helping the Alikir. Okay, let's go. And if I remember rightly, then Sadia will be in the inn as usual, waiting in that back room, unless she went back to serving people.
What brings you to the market?
Oh, shut up, Nazim. Your voice annoys me already.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. Think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
Okay, and it's up this way. I do believe. Not in there. Sadia.
Any news of the Alikir?
Yes, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you. I wasn't able to defeat them all, and they're coming for you.
What? How? I thought they weren't allowed within the city.
They found a way in. We need to get you out of here.
But where will I go? I can't keep running forever.
There's a horse waiting at the stables. I'll make sure you're safe. Trust me.
After all this, I have to pick up and leave again? If you really think this is the only way, I trust you. Let's not waste any time.
Yes, believe the definitely not obvious lies and come with me. I hope you don't mind some time in a jail cell followed by possible execution, as that's likely where you're heading.
Don't get too far ahead.
Now, Sadia, come on. Ugh. I swear, the pathfinding in this game is the absolute worst anywhere. I really do loathe it sometimes. And Ace, please GTFO. Oh, you're going out the main door, are you? Let's get over there. Why couldn't you go out the door that you were closest to? It would have been less of a pain in the ass. Fine, let's go. Where are you, Sadia? Where are you? There you are. Now get going. Okay, come on, Sadia. Don't worry. I will definitely protect you from the Alikir if they turn up. Not really, but we want her to think we're on her side right up until we stab her in the back. If for no other reason, then it will make said backstabbing that much easier to pull off, because she's not going to be trying to kill us at the same time. Of course, she would fail because she has a dagger, and we have a lot more weapons than that, and more experience, probably. But still, I'd like to not be trying to fight her while we're trying to take her in. Makes matters a lot easier, I think.
I do not think Arjit were made for the cold.
Nothing new there.
Come on, your horse is just around here. Let's go. Good, you made it on time, Kamatu.
What is this? What have you done?
Oh, come now. You didn't really expect to manipulate people forever, did you? Your luck had to run out sometime.
What was that?
We can never rest easy.
Don't think I've seen a spell like that before. Interesting bit of magic, though. Pity I can't use spells myself, or I'd be interested in learning it.
Now we'll take our friend here back to Hammerfell, where she will pay the price for her treason.
She won't be harmed until she gets there, correct?
Not on the way back. Once she gets there, it's not up to me to decide what's done with her. And as for you, I owe you a portion of the reward, don't I? Well, here you go. Spend it wisely, and if I may, don't allow yourself to be fooled by a pretty face. You're better than that.
Okay, as long as you promise to stop insinuating that Elia is a lesbian. Because that's more than a little insulting to her. But now, it's time to get back into Whiterun. We have some loot that I need to sell. And I want to check and see if there's any jobs in town that we could do. As well as stocking up on supplies. Because we will probably be heading towards Iverstead fairly soon.
I should get over to Windhelm more. See how the other morally refugees are getting along.
Okay, Adrian is over here. We can sell our armor type loot to her.
The finest weapons and all.
And just 1 second. I'll be back once this is done, because I'm going to be editing out my little bits of selling, as I've started to do. Well, thank you for your business, Adrian.
Don't forget to check inside the shop.
Now, we unfortunately have to pay a visit to my least favorite merchant in all of Skyrim, Bellathor. Fucking Bellathor. Oh, that's Adrian's cauldron, my bad.
Did what you said you were going to do.
Fuck you, Bellathor, I hate you. And I said that outside because I didn't want to be cursing Bellathor out when we're about to sell him things. He might take offense and give us less gold.
Everything's for sale, my friend.
Shut up. You arrogant pompous asshat. I don't care for anything to do with you. Once again, I'm going to be editing out my little bit of selling, so I'll talk to you again when I'm done. And we are done. Thank you for your business, Bellathor. But wait a second.
Trinkets,
One thing I
odds,
forgot to
that
do.
sort of thing.
Let's see here. I'll take a little bit of lantern oil, I think. Because we ran out recently.
Come back.
I probably will, as much as you are an irritating pain in the ass.
Don't get too far ahead.
You actually buy my stuff. Unlike some people, so I
can
probably
tell
will
you're
come
a
back.
discriminating customer.
Now, we're going to drop by our armor friend, Adrian, again. Because I have a couple things I want to check out with her before we hit up my next destination.
I don't claim to be the... Take a look.
Let's see if she's got what I'm after, and since this is going to be fairly quick, I will not be editing it out. You don't have that. Go with that. The answer is no.
Alright then.
If you're wondering, I was looking to see if she had any decent arrows. But now we'll head into the Drunken Huntsman and resupply on arrows, since I know they have them.
Let me know if you see anything you like.
That depends. What kind of arrows
How
do
my
you
heart
have?
soars to look upon a sister Bosmer. Please, how can I serve your hunting needs? What are you hunting? Never mind. I don't want to know.
Mostly bandits, actually. Well, bandits and the occasional wildlife that decides I would make a good snack. But that's basically it. Your arrow supply is shit. I need orcish arrows. Or elven arrows. Possibly dwarvish. You don't have any of those. Okay, this was a goddamn waste of time, but I will pick up the one lockpick. However, there is one thing I want to ask you. I heard from some people in the inn the last time we were there that this is the home of the hunting guild, and I've been looking for some work of a sort. Yes, it is. Head on downstairs. There's a journal on the table for you to read.
Thank you very much for your business.
And now I'm going to save the game, just in case something goes wrong. And we will head down to the Hunting Guild Whiterun Outpost. And if you're wondering, this is a quest added by a mod I have called Hunting in Skyrim. It adds a quest guild of sorts. I have a couple more mods, but I can't off the top of my head remember what they are, so I'll post them in the description with the new tagline beside them, and you'll have to identify them like that. Sorry, but it's been so long since the last time I recorded, for a number of reasons, that I've forgotten which mods I added, and I didn't bother to check before I started this recording. Sorry about that, but yeah. But in any case, let's get to reading this book that Elrindir has mentioned, which, funny that that guy's named Elrindir. That's actually a name I picked for one of my characters in an early on Skyrim roleplay that I did in text format a couple of years ago. Funny that. Hunting in Skyrim is about to become big business. Keeping the traditional feeling of the hunt and living off the land, I've decided to create something special. Here will be a hunting guild, the first of its kind in all of Tamriel. Once complete, we will have a place to trade, swap stories, earn a real living, and make a name for ourselves. Jarls, generals, and people of all trades will call upon us to collect their much-needed meats and pelts, as well as rid the land of terrible beasts. Remember the tales of the great bears of the Reach? How would you like to be paid to hunt such legendary creatures? The wait will soon be over, brothers and sisters. I am away making some arrangements, but there are already some tasks to be completed. If you do these things, fellow hunter, you'll be rewarded, and will be the first real member of our fantastic guild. 1. A large wolf has been causing problems for the fair people of Riverwood. It was last seen near the southeast entrance of the town. Your job is to take it down. 2. A group of giant mud crabs have made the Shrine of Zenithar their home. Remove them. 3. Elbaron, the hunting guild porter, has been tasked by the local traders to bring in some wolf pelts and deer or elk hides. It would be great if these could be collected also. Take this note to accept the hunt. We will have lots to do upon my return. And a little thing there that I assume is like the guild symbol. And that starts a quest called It All Started with a Wolf. We have to travel to the wolf's last known location, which... where is that? Anyways. It's near Riverwood, that's all this really tells me. And not too far from my cabin. Now though, do I want to do this right now, or would I rather wait and do it another time? It doesn't seem like we're in any particular hurry to kill this wolf, and it doesn't seem like it's actually doing much harm, and this task doesn't feel very urgent to me. No. I think we are going to start making preparations for our pilgrimage to see the Greybeards over at High Hrothgar next. That's going to be my next destination, Ivarstead.
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for.
So, we're going to head back to Elia's cabin near Riverwood. And then I will check up on what supplies we have and sort of make a judgment on what we're going to need. Then a brief trip into Riverwood to stock up. And after we've resupplied ourselves, we are going to head out and make our way towards Ivarstead, because I think it's high time we started on the way to the Greybeards. I don't want to keep them waiting. Keeping the Greybeards waiting on us doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would be a particularly good idea. So we're going to head back and resupply at our house and in Riverwood now.
Mother of roses, goddess of dusk and dawn.
Wow. Janassa really is another Azura worshipper, I guess. Which, I guess this is a good time to talk about Elia's view on religion. To be perfectly honest, she really doesn't give a damn about religion, and doesn't think it affects her in any way. Except if someone is using religion as an excuse to try and eviscerate her. Then it affects her. Other than that, not so much. But she's not a particularly religious person. Like, watching the Thalmor basically murder everyone she ever knew when she was a small child kind of killed any potential for religion and faith to be a big thing in her life, because in her view, if there were any gods and they didn't care enough to stop her friends and family from dying, then she had no reason to believe they were worth her. Okay, let's start again. If there were gods or goddesses, then they obviously didn't care enough to stop her friends and family's death at the hands of the Thalmor. Therefore, they were not in any way nice or good or anything like that, and not worth her devoting her life to. So she just can't be bothered with religion, because she does not look fondly on most deities. She knows they exist but just doesn't give a damn about them, is basically the way it is. So yeah, that's how Elia looks at religion. She's not an especially religious person. Nor is she really inclined to view anyone who follows any particular religion especially positively or negatively because of said religion. Like I said, she just doesn't give a damn. But we're back at the house now. And it's time to get off our horse, who I still haven't named. This is still Horsey, so that should give you some idea of how indecisive I can be when it comes to naming some things, and how bad I can be at it in some cases. Okay. Don't run off, Ace. Alright. Now... ditch the hood. Done the cloak, and I'm thinking... no, we don't have the thing I was after. I'll pull up the belted tunic. And for now, while we're getting ready, Elia is going to have a temporary bit of downtime. And we're going to change into something a little bit more casual.
Don't get too far ahead.
As well as unequipping my weapons. I don't think we'll have any form of boots or anything on us, which would have been nice. But I'll check anyways. Boots, no. Gloves, yes. Now I'm going to dump a few things that we have on us that I don't want to be carrying everywhere. All of these, basically. The fortified... all my potions here I can just dump on my horse. And that'll do it for redistribution of that stuff, because a lot of what we're carrying I'll just put on my horse. I think we don't want either of those. And to anyone who's wondering why I haven't sold them yet, they're part of the roleplay aspect of this. These are family heirlooms of Elias. They've been in her family for about 6 generations, and after the destruction of her home village, these are all she has left of her family. So we're going to be keeping these no matter what. And I don't care if we are totally out of gold and those are the only things keeping us from starving to death, she will not sell them no matter what. Just keep that in mind. Okay.
You must be starving.
Not really, but hey Lydia. Yeah, Lydia's hanging around here. She's more of a bodyguard for our house than anything these days. Hunting Guild beginnings. I'm going to grab a bunch of books to bring along with me, I think. None of these ones are things that I'm particularly interested in having. Let's see. Nope, not bringing any of those books because they're all either volume 2 or something else that I do not. That I haven't. I need to read a prequel 2 or something first. We have a decent amount of food and stuff in terms of supplies. Now I just need to check what my horse has on him. let's see. Horsey has my pickaxe and woodcutter's axe. Amulet of Mara, clothes. Ah, that's where I was keeping them. And some additional armor and stuff. Let's see. I'll store all of my food on the horse. We're doing excellent as far as my supply of food and minor supply of alcohol goes. Alright, now I'm also going to store my alchemical ingredients on the horse. And if you're wondering why I have a human heart on me, I don't know, so don't ask. I would put Meridia's Beacon on there too, but I can't get rid of it because quest item. The iron ingot too, my cooking pot, and small leather tent can also be stored there. As well as a bunch of my potions. There we go. That's enough, I think. And we'll sell the one set of clothing. But I have a plentiful supply of books for the journey ahead. Now I'm just going to head down to Riverwood and sell some of the items of loot we've accumulated that I hadn't gotten around to selling just yet. So, Horsey, you wait here while I do a bit of selling, yes? Alvor.
May the gods watch over. Blades, helmets.
Well, this should be pretty quick, so I don't think I'm gonna bother to edit it out, just because it won't take too long. I'll do that. And if you're wondering about the pause, that was me being very careful that I wasn't going to accidentally sell something that I would want. And that reminds me. Elia, you should get your clothes back on, as well as equip your weapons. Steel arrows, please. I'll leave the hood off for now, just because it's a little bit more polite to be going around in a public area with your face visible than anything else. I mean, we're not exactly a wanted criminal around here, now are we? So we'll go around with no hood on, I think. Okay, Lucan,
Thank you so
I have a few things to sell
odds
you.
and ends, that sort of thing.
Let's see here, what we got. Fur shoes. Not selling the ranger hood. You can also have my belted tunic. Now, I'll see what I can buy from you real quick. What do you have in the way of arrows? Nothing that's worth a damn. Okay. I'll get a cheese wheel and a couple of potatoes as well to take along with me. I could get an alembic for some alchemy work, but that would be almost half my gold. I'll look into it when I have a bit more gold. Thanks for the business. Now I'll be leaving. Now I want to check with Alvor.
Whatever.
What about arrows? You got arrows?
Pretty much anything to suit your needs.
Let's see. You have some orcish arrows I think I'm gonna pick up. Not exactly cheap, but
All right.
I need to buy arrows right now since I have yet to get good enough with smithing to be able to make orcish arrows on my own, and that won't happen anytime soon. Now, I'm going to do something else. Change the equipment on my horse to the hunter saddle. Make it a little bit more fitting and have something that vaguely resembles protection. I'm also going to throw on my ranger hood. And I don't know what kind of opponents we're going to come up against on the way to find the Greybeards. And I'm going the wrong way. As I was saying, I don't know what we're going to come up against, so I think I'm going to head back to my cabin. Because I want to pick up my crossbow. I would rather like to have that crossbow on me at the moment. And here I am trying to go completely the wrong way. I want to have that crossbow with me with a little bit of extra kick it gives me when I'm firing. And the little things like that are going to turn out to be quite advantageous under the right circumstances. So now we'll dismount. Alright. Hey there, Lydia. I'm not staying for long. I just need to check something. I'm hungry. Okay. Crossbow and steel bolt I'll pick up. And off we go. As soon as I get something to eat. I'm hungry, slightly thirsty, and slightly tired. Let's see. Have a bit of cheese for our meal, I think. What time of day is it? 5:30. It's getting towards evening, so I'm thinking we rest tonight, then set off in the morning. That feels like a good idea to me. Just set off early on, rather than trying to trudge through the dark, which would be fairly stupid of us. But I think this is where I'm going to call a close to this particular recording. So, this has been Dark Phoenix Ninja 92, and you've been watching my Let's Play of Skyrim with Elia, Ace, and Janassa, wherever the hell Janassa's got off to. She's apparently right here, just invisible. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, then please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. See you then, folks. See you then.